you ever been playing pickleball and someone has done this to you?
It's a lot of pressure. Hey, Jay, we talked about that.
In today's video, we're going to cover how you can use this shot against your opponents the next time you get on the court. Let's get into it. Welcome to High Five Pickleball. My name is Adam Richards, and today we're covering how to hit the drop volley. The drop volley is a volley shot that takes pace off of your opponent's shot and returns the ball just to the other side of the net. When you use this shot correctly, it catches your opponents off guard and gives you the ability to end the rally in your favor. One thing to know about this shot is that it can be risky, and the setup to the shot is almost just as important as how you execute the shot. The first step in hitting a drop volley is actually the setup. And what you're doing is you're creating the conditions that make it easy for you to hit this shot. So you're gonna be at the net, your opponent will be at the baseline, and you're gonna be hitting shots that pin them back on that baseline and keep them back. And the point of that is you want to keep them either leaning back or leaning to the side, one direction or the other. That way you get a shot that is perfect for catching them off guard and dropping the ball just over the net. Now, there isn't any perfect sequence to this. Let's say that you get a high third shot drop, you attack that shot and pin them back. Then you get a high fifth shot that you can then drop. There is no perfect sequence to this, but normally what you want is you want to be pushing your opponent back and setting yourself up for that drop volley. If you want to improve at pickleball, you could spend a lot of time searching for the next tip that may or may not even help your game. If you want to improve faster without all of the wasted time of searching, check out the Path to Better Pickleball. It's a free curated path of tips with a skills guide and 10 step-by-step videos sent straight to your inbox. You won't have to worry about searching for your next tip or wasting time doing that because it's intentionally designed and will automatically come to your inbox. Thousands of players have benefited, and I get positive feedback every week from them. If you'd like to join for free, just click the link in the description. The next step is anticipation. And what you want to be anticipating is a shot that has the right conditions for you to use the drop volley. So normally that's a higher drop shot or maybe a drive that doesn't have a lot of pace on it, but essentially it's in your sweet spot, either on your backhand or your forehand side, that you can easily drop volley over. The next step is making contact with the ball. Now that you've got the setup and you've got the conditions for the right shot to use the drop volley, you want to have very soft hands. That way you can absorb that shot and return it just to the other side of the net. And so what I mean by soft hands is a grip pressure that is similar to what you use when you dink and maybe even softer. And something that you can do to practice that is to take your bottom three fingers off of the paddle and just hold with your index and your thumb just to get a feel for how soft that is. But another thing to note is that your paddle is going to be doing a lot of the work for you and you're not going to be swinging at all. So you're really just going to be taking that ball out of the air, letting the paddle do the work for you and absorbing that shot. That way you can return it just to the other side of the net. All right, now that you're working on your drop volley, some things to be thinking about is where your opponents are moving compared to where you're dropping the ball. So if you got them moving this way, you can drop it the opposite direction. That just makes it harder for them to return. Another thing to be thinking about is how much clearance you have over the net. So you've got about 2 inches more in the middle. That can actually help you if you're working on this shot. Another thing to be thinking about is where you're actually placing the ball. It's great to get it into the kitchen, somewhere around there or maybe even closer to the net. But the more that you experiment with that, the more you risk hitting it into the net just like that. So just some things to be thinking about. Another thing to note here is that when you're using the drop volley, it's important to know who you're using the drop volley on. So if your opponent is really fast, or if they're known for chasing down balls and they're capable of doing that, then just be aware that when you use that drop volley, you immediately bring your opponent to the net, which is not really what you want to be doing. You want to be ending that rally or be setting up a shot that enables you to end that rally. Otherwise, you give them a free ticket into the net, which is what you don't want to be doing. Lastly, just an extra tip here. If you want your drop volleys to be even more effective, what you can do is practice deception. And what I mean by that is act like you're going to hit an overhead, wind up, but then stop and catch that ball, absorb it, and use the drop volley just over the net. You can do the same thing with your backhand. So wind up, show that big backswing, but then when the ball gets close to you, you catch it, absorb it, and drop the ball just over the net. Thank you so much for watching this video and for sticking with me all the way until the end. I really hope it was helpful. What are some other topics you would like for me to cover in future videos? Drop me a comment, let me know what you're thinking, and your idea may get picked for the next video. And as always, if you enjoyed this video or learned something new, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another update from High Five Pickleball. Thanks for watching.